What if breath wasn't merely a survival reflex, but a sacred instrument of creation? There's a body of research that helps explain why sheer positive thinking stalls, and why shifting your breathing state can reorder your reality from the inside out. Most people take roughly 20 to 24,000 breaths a day without awareness, hurrying through meetings, doom scrolling in bed, replaying old conversations, never asking why the outer world keeps mirroring their inner noise. They try to fix circumstances while ignoring the thing that precedes and shapes those circumstances, the signal their body is broadcasting through breath. Here's the disruptive idea. Your breathing pattern is not just reflecting your state, it's conditioning it and emitting information into the space around you. Studies from HeartMath report that the heart generates a rhythmic electromagnetic field measurable several feet from the body, and that the pattern of this field shifts with emotional state and breath coherence. When your breathing is erratic and stress-driven, the signal you broadcast is chaotic. When it's coherent and intentional, you become a calm, organizing center that others subtly feel. This is also why Think Harder and Vision Board marathons fizzle. Without a coherent physiology, cognition loops. Multiple reviews show that slow, even breathing near the body's resonance frequency, approximately 0.1 hertz, about 6 breaths per minute, increases heart rate variability, HRV, and supports clearer perception and self-regulation, the prerequisites for any real shift. In other words, coherence first, cognition second. And there's a deeper layer. In physics, the observer effect says that the act of observing changes the system measured. While the lab reality isn't the same as daily life, the metaphor is potent. When you become the observer of your inner world, especially your breath, you change how your outer experiment behaves. We'll use this insight practically, not dogmatically. In this video, I'll give you a 4-step sacred breath protocol that moves you from reacting to life to authoring it, plus a quantum pause micro-practice you can drop into in under a second to reset your field in real time. Whether you're navigating conflict, launching something new, or healing old patterns, every unconscious breath is a missed chance to shape reality. Every conscious breath is a lever. Today, we pull that lever on purpose. Part 2, Observer Mode, the shift from breather to watcher. When you were born, your very first act wasn't a thought, a cry, or a word. It was an inhale. That simple rhythm bridged your soul into this reality. Breath has always been the doorway, but somewhere along the way we downgraded it to a mechanical function. Shallow, hurried, trapped in the chest. This is what I call survival breathing. It keeps the body alive, but leaves the spirit starving. Ancient traditions across cultures understood breath as sacred. The Sanskrit prana, the Hebrew ruach, the Greek pneuma, all words meaning both breath and spirit. Egyptian mystery schools even taught initiates that each conscious breath awakened chambers of perception within the human temple. Yogis discovered pranayama could reshape not just mood, but the fabric of experience itself. These weren't poetic exaggerations, they were early recognitions of a truth modern neurocardiology and psychophysiology now echo. Breath is a control dial for consciousness. Here's the practical bridge. Every emotional state you've ever known has had a matching breathing pattern. Anxiety? Quick, shallow, erratic. Peace? Slow, deep, coherent. Breath doesn't just mirror emotion, it induces it. This is where awareness becomes power. Mechanical breathing happens to you. Sacred breathing happens through you. A deliberate act of participating in the dialogue between your inner state and the quantum field of possibility that surrounds you. Now try something, without forcing. Notice your breath, right now. Feel the air move in, pause, then out. As you do, Become the observer of that process. You'll notice another layer emerging, your mind chattering. Am I doing this right? This is silly. But here's the revelation. If you can watch the thought, you cannot be the thought. You're the sky watching clouds, not the clouds themselves. Modern mindfulness research confirms this separation, known as decentering, is a trainable skill that reduces rumination and improves emotional regulation. Quantum physics adds a metaphorical twist, the observer effect. When you observe, you influence the system. When you observe your breath and mind instead of fusing with them, your entire energetic experiment reorganizes. Think of yourself as sitting on the riverbank, watching thoughts flow by. Some currents rush with fear or doubt, others trickle with joy. But the river never defines you. The awareness does. This is your true nature, the silent witness that hasn't changed since childhood, and won't change until your last breath. And here's the payoff. The moment you identify more with the observer than the mental chatter, reactivity dissolves. You stop being dragged by thought loops and start choosing responses. Breath becomes your anchor. Observation becomes your power. Together, they create the state where real freedom begins. Part 3. The Quantum Pause. Entering the space between breaths. Have you ever noticed that strange stillness in moments of crisis or profound love, when time seems to slow and the world feels suspended? Those weren't accidents. They were glimpses into the space between breaths. In every inhale and exhale lies a pause, a fraction of a second at the top of your breath, and again at the bottom. Most people rush past it 23,000 times a day, never realizing this pause is a doorway into the field of infinite possibility. Ancient Egyptians taught their initiates to enter these silences, calling it dwelling in the breath of Ra, the womb of creation. Yogic masters described it as kumbhaka, the sacred retention, where life force reorganizes itself. Modern physiology quietly confirms the wisdom. That micropause is where your nervous system resets. Studies show that focusing on breath holds can shift heart rate variability and increase vagal tone, giving you a calm clarity otherwise unavailable in fight-or-flight breathing. Here's the extraordinary thing. In that suspended moment, lungs full but not yet releasing, or empty but not yet refilling, mental chatter fades. The ego's "I must, I should, I need" dissolves. What arises instead is the clear knowing of the soul. This isn't desperate wishing, it's crystallized intention. Neuroscientists studying meditation call it the quieting of the default mode network, where self-referential noise goes offline and deeper creativity and insight come online. Think of this pause as the silence between musical notes. Without it, music would be noise. With it, rhythm and beauty emerge. Your breath works the same way. Without pause, life is static. With pause, life finds harmony. And here's a practical exercise. Right now, notice your inhale. Hold, not with strain but with reverence, for just a heartbeat. Feel the suspension. Then, let go into the exhale. At the bottom, pause again. Feel that stillness. This is the quantum pause. In those tiny doorways, you're not forcing reality, you're communing with it. Ancient mystics used metaphors of wombs, needle's eyes, or sacred darkness, images of narrow openings through which infinity flows into form. Modern quantum metaphors echo it, the collapse of probability into actuality. When you rest in that pause, you are sitting at the seam between what was and what will be. This is not about breath-holding competitions or straining the lungs. It's about learning to rest in the stillness that already exists. Each pause becomes an invitation to reset, to receive, to remember. Over time, this cultivates a deep resilience. You become the calm eye at the center of the storm, organizing chaos simply by being aligned. Part 4. Building the Inner Temple. Breath as Architecture of the Body. Ancient civilizations built great temples to house the divine, the pyramids of Egypt, the cathedrals of Europe, the sanctuaries of Asia. None of these were random constructions. Every column, chamber, and alignment was designed to channel sacred energy. What if your body is no different? What if your breath is the architect that awakens the temple within you? The Egyptians mapped the human body as a living sanctuary, with breath as the key to open hidden chambers of consciousness. Yogic traditions echo this in their descriptions of chakras and prana pathways. And modern somatic psychology agrees. Your body is a living archive, storing memories, traumas, and unresolved emotions within its tissues. Think about the sensations you carry. Tight shoulders from years of responsibility, a heavy chest from unprocessed grief, a clenched stomach tied in knots of anxiety, a throat that feels restricted from words never spoken. These are not random aches. They are biographical imprints. Your nervous system and fascia literally record your story. Here's the gift of conscious breathing. It doesn't just oxygenate the body, it restores the flow of life force through the temple. Each deep, intentional breath is like sacred renovation, clearing out debris, opening blocked passageways, and blessing the rooms that have been sealed off by pain. Try this as you listen. Inhale into your chest. Imagine entering the chamber of the heart, the seat of love and connection. Exhale and descend into the belly, the chamber of intuition and power. With each breath, you are both traveler and restorer, reclaiming space that has always belonged to you. Modern research supports this inner mapping. Slow diaphragmatic breathing has been shown to calm the amygdala, the brain's fear center, enhance emotional regulation, and improve interoception, the ability to sense and interpret signals from within the body. In simple terms, breath reopens rooms you forgot existed. And here's the breakthrough. Once you inhabit your inner temple fully, your outer world begins to shift. Just as ancient structures were aligned with stars to receive cosmic power, your coherent breath aligns you with higher frequencies of peace, clarity, and creative flow. You stop being a fragmented house of echoes and become a living sanctuary, stable, magnetic, whole. This isn't about perfecting the body. It's about honoring it, not as a machine, but as a temple. And breath is the sacred thread connecting every chamber. Part 5. The Breath Field. How your energy shapes everyone around you. Science now confirms something mystics always intuited. Your breath doesn't just stay inside you. It radiates outward. Each inhale and exhale changes the electromagnetic field generated by your heart, a field measurable up to 8 feet from the body. What does that mean in practice? You are constantly broadcasting your inner state to the world around you. When your breathing is shallow and chaotic, your field projects that turbulence. Others feel it before a word is spoken. Walk into a room anxious and rushed, and the atmosphere tightens. Walk in centered, breathing coherently, and the space softens. You've probably felt this, the magnetic calm of someone whose mere presence relaxes everyone nearby, or the draining agitation of someone carrying stress like a storm cloud. HeartMath research shows that when breathing becomes rhythmic and coherent, around 6 breaths per minute, the heart and brain synchronize. This state not only enhances your own clarity, but creates measurable changes in others' physiology when they're nearby. Children are especially sensitive. They often mirror a parent's breath field unconsciously, restless when mom or dad is stressed, peaceful when their breathing slows. Think of your breath field like the surface of a lake. Frantic breathing thrashes the water, creating ripples that disturb everything. Coherent breathing is the still mountain lake, reflecting the sky with clarity. In that stillness, others naturally settle. This extends beyond family. In the workplace, entering a meeting with a coherent breath field shifts the collective atmosphere. Conflict conversations become less reactive. Creative collaboration flows more easily. Why? Because your field silently tells others safety, clarity, presence. And here's the profound reminder. This influence isn't something you perform or manipulate. It emerges naturally when your breath is aligned with authenticity. The field responds to coherence, not performance. One person breathing from their true center can shift an entire room, not by effort, but by resonance. Mystical traditions describe this as the awakened one, serving simply by being. Modern science might describe it as entrainment, when one coherent system synchronizes chaotic ones around it. Whatever the language, the reality is the same. You are not just an individual breathing in isolation. You are a node in the web of collective consciousness. Every conscious breath you take uplifts the whole.
Part 6. Stillness as Power. The Mountain Within. We live in a culture that glorifies effort. Hustle harder, do more, grind longer. But here's the paradox. The quantum field doesn't respond to exhaustion. It responds to alignment. And the most aligned state of all isn't frantic movement. It's stillness. Not the stillness of collapse or giving up, but the dynamic stillness of a mountain. A mountain doesn't chase sunsets. It receives them. It doesn't resist storms. It lets them pass. Rivers flow around it. Seasons change upon it. Yet its presence is unshaken. When you learn to breathe into this kind of stillness, something remarkable happens. Reality begins to rearrange itself around you, instead of against you. Think of the eye of a hurricane. All around, winds rage at impossible speeds. Yet at the very center, there is perfect calm. From that center, the entire storm is organized. Your conscious stillness works the same way. When you breathe coherently and rest in the pause, you become the calm center around which chaos reorganizes. Science supports this. Research on heart rate variability shows that still, coherent states increase resilience, improve problem solving, and even change how people around you respond. Opportunities begin to appear that you could never have forced. Solutions surface in the silence. The right people arrive at the right time. This isn't wishful thinking. It's resonance. You stop broadcasting frantic signals of scarcity or control, and instead emit trust, receptivity, alignment, and the field mirrors you back. Here's the deeper truth. Control is exhausting. It tries to bend the world to fit your will. Alignment is effortless. It lets your coherence magnetize harmony naturally. One is manipulation. The other is communion. This is why ancient teachers insisted that true mastery often looks like doing less, not more. The master archer pauses before releasing the arrow. Focused, present, ready. The power is in the stillness. So here's your final invitation. Let breath be your compass back to that stillness. 3 conscious inhales can bring you home to the observer. A single pause between breaths can reconnect you to infinite possibility. One moment of stillness can reset your entire field. You've journeyed through the temple of your body, discovered the power of the quantum pause, and seen how breath radiates into the world around you. Now you know. Stillness